The Great War had started. It was 1920. Germany was losing its new glory, while France was losing whatever was left from their old one. Joachim Purins, the former French field marshal, who took the control of France with a coup d'état, signed an alliance with Friedrich I, the monarch of Germany, who managed to unite Austria, Prussia and Germany. Their ultimate goal was to gain access to the trade routes to the New World and its colonies. Just 2 decades ago, the French and the Germans had one of the bloodiest battles in history. But times have changed since then, and the British had set themselves up as the absolute leaders of the world. There were 3 countries that held the best and most profitable routes: the Dutch Empire, which, despite losing most of its former glory, it was still able to survive by being friends with the British Crown; the Iberian Union, comprised of Spain, Andorra and Portugal; and the third route going from the country of Mir. The French and the German had made their plans and strategy. They will attack the now weakened country of Mir, possibly gaining a route to India, and after that wage war with the Iberian Union in order to gain a part of its access to the colonies. But the people of Mir were known for their resilience, and the Iberian Union knew perfectly the French-German Union's plans. Mir was successful in defending against the French-German Union, but paid too big of a price. Mir's population was decimated, and they've lost their route to India. Other countries saw an opportunity to increase their realms both on Mir's and the French-Germans' expense. So the Great War started. The country of Mir lost 1/3 of its territory, while the Germans and the French lost 1/4 of its combined territory, and all 3 countries lost countless of their young and capable young men. After the Great War ended, Frank III knew he had no choice. He was in no position to strengthen the country of Mir martially. What he did have, though, was one of the most brilliant physician-scientists, Martin Karev. During the Great War, Frank III and Karev formed a group of the country's top doctors, led by Karev himself, whose goal was to perform experiments in order to create the perfect and super-powerful human being. The project was kept in secret. Even some of the doctors didn't know what they were creating. During the Great War, many of the subjects came from the soldiers who got injured in the battles. The experiments contained many unsuccessful attempts, but during this process they created a couple of super-powerful soldiers. These super-powerful soldiers were nicknamed Ken. The other ones were kept locked in cages to further monitor their progress and the repercussions the experiments had on them. After the Great War, Frank III was preparing for another war, one in which he won't be signing a Carthaginian peace. But years after the Great War, all hell broke loose. After the plans for this were leaked by a trusted member of the monarchy, the people in the west of Mir, the part of the country which suffered the most from the war, formed the resistance. A revolutionary movement with only one goal: the overthrow the monarchist government, and to depose Frank III from his position of power, either peacefully or by force. What ensued was a civil war that lasted for years, without any side emerging as victorious. Then, after years of wars, the people in the 2 opposing sides in the civil war started forming multiple factions, further escaping the possibility of the war ending soon. Mir was now divided by 8 factions. One day, as you were scavenging for food, you were knocked out by an abominate, a huge humanoid creature, one of the abominations created by the failed experiments from Karev. It wasn't just the abominates, there were all sorts of creatures that sprouted like wildfire during the civil wars. You were near death. Fortunately, one of the Resurgence's members spotted you and took you in their base. With their help you managed to survive to this day. You are Ken, one of the successful test subjects. This is your story. The fate of Mir is in your hands.